Hello, my friends. Welcome or welcome back. I am your local art witch, and today I wanted to share with you this crochet doll that I made for another YouTuber. He makes funny videos and he brings me a lot of joy. He did a live stream or premiere. We were chatting and he was teasing us about showing his baby. And I love seeing babies. They're so cute. And he surprised us by popping up a miniature version of himself dressed as Kody Brown. He does a fantastic Kody Brown impression, by the way. It made me laugh. I choked on my drink. I said something along the lines of, "It's too bad you didn't have a doll or something to pretend to be your baby." OtterMona piped up. I really like her. She's so nice. Law, which is what they call me over there. "Don't you crochet? Don't you make dolls?" And a terrible, horrible, wonderful idea was born. I knew immediately I needed to make this doll. I looked through the patterns that I already had, and none of them were quite right. Not what I wanted to create. I wanted this baby to look baby-like, not just a doll. I went on to Etsy, looked around. I found the most perfect pattern. This pattern is by Mushrooms and Meadows. I bought the clothes separately. I did buy 2 patterns, but it was well worth it. I would not recommend this pattern for a beginner, but if you really pay attention, follow along. I don't read as carefully as I should, and that's where a lot of my difficulty came from. The more difficult areas are probably the little toes and maybe the bends in the arms and legs. If you're following the instructions, looking at her photos, you'll do fine. This doll was so fun to make. I started with the doll, of course. I then made the diaper. The onesie, I decided to embroider. I wanted the saying to be cute, but something Kody Brown has said on the show. It was a little difficult. I ended up on something he said in an interview with Suki. "It's all ego, baby." So I embroidered that. The yarn I used was just 90% of it was yarn I already had in my stash. I did need to buy the yarn for the bunting. It's a thicker yarn. I don't tend to use blanket or chenille. It's a little more difficult to work with, harder to see your stitches. It comes apart when you're frogging your stitches. But I'm glad I used what she recommended because it ended up super, super cute. The last thing I added was the hair. For a couple reasons. One was I could not find the right color, the right yarn. Blonde, yellow hair, I cannot find it shiny. I can't find any that actually you could see as hair. Skein Tones has a wonderful line of shiny yarns in various shades. Browns are fantastic for hair. I don't like it for skin because it's too shiny. It doesn't. For amigurumi, I don't like it, but for hair, I love it. So if you know of a medium-sized yarn that is shiny, that you could see as hair, please, please let me know. I'm hurting over here. Once I was getting close to finishing the doll, I emailed Jeff to see if he would be willing to allow me to send it to him. He had a P.O. box at the time, so I was able to send it. It was very nerve-wracking because I was so scared that he wouldn't make it. There were other issues like tariffs going on, and I just didn't want the doll to be torn apart. There's 2 magnets inside his mouth. I forgot to send Kody's pacifier, so that bums me out because the pacifier actually attaches to his mouth. So I was just worried that these metal objects inside the doll would get flagged, but he was fine. I did selfishly ask Jeff to unbox Kody in a live stream because I wanted to see his face. I wanted to see that he enjoyed the doll. Some people are really creeped out by dolls. So he did seem to genuinely enjoy what I sent him, which is the biggest compliment you can give. I sent a card that congratulated him on the arrival of his new baby, and I wrote in on the bottom of the card, "Love should be multiplied, not divided." Another Kody saying. I crocheted a pair of work gloves. I wanted to crochet a tree. That man is always cutting down trees. But I was getting worried about the weight. I checked in and it was going to cost like $200 to send it internationally. Luckily, I have family that work across the border. I want to thank OtterMona for the fantastic idea. I had so much joy. It was so fantastic to crochet this doll. I laughed the entire time because I knew I was making something wonderful and terrible. I want to thank Jeff for being such a good sport about it, for allowing me to send him something. I need to give a huge thank you to Mushrooms and Meadows for creating this beautiful pattern. The thought that she put in, there's little fingers, there's little toes, the little arms and legs are bent. I could never. She's too smart. I will be sure to link everything in the description if you want to check it out. Check out Jeff. Check out Mushrooms and Meadows. If you crochet, I want to thank y'all for sticking with me. This is just a small part of what I do in my craft. This is not a magic doll, to be clear. I don't imbue them unless I have permission or a direct request. It wouldn't work out for the people, right? Like some people just don't want that energy, which is completely fine. So the only magic that baby Kody would have is just the pure joy that I had while crocheting him, and I hope that can be felt. I want to thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate it. I've been your local art witch, and I'll see you all again next time. Take care. Bye-bye for now.